I'm going to show you guys how to make this phone holder for a tripod, but before I begin I'm going to go over the things I started before I filmed. So I found this nut that I glued to this spare piece of metal, and what's nice about this is that it actually fits this tripod adapter, so I don't have to go buy an adapter. But I think this is a gate part actually. Just glued it onto this and it should fit nicely and work for this video. Fits pretty snug. You're going to need 2 bolts which will fit in the ends of them. I made this PVC washer. Sorry I bumped the camera. I just flattened a piece of PVC. I just heated up and I cut it so that it would be flat, and I stuck it between a board and clamp it. This hole in the middle should fit over this nut nicely so that the camera adapter will reach it. I made this other flattened piece of PVC. It doesn't have to be a specific length, just cut it to the length that you think will fit it, and then you can cut it later if it's too long or too short. But it'll fit around that nut and you can just glue it later. So I started by finding a piece of wood that was wide enough. I think it was a 1 inch by 2 inches. I measured about 1/4 of an inch away from the top. That will be the parts where the hinges interconnect. And then I cut away from it to a size that I like, just so that I can glue it onto the piece of PVC that will connect the top and the bottom. I measured about a 16th or 5/16 of an inch away from each line that will be the hinge. Here it is all cut out. There's a 5/16 of an inch in between each piece. I'm gonna round it out later, but we're gonna make a copy of this, actually, like a duplicate of this. So I'm just marking it, and make sure to mark inside the lines where you draw so that you don't have like a deficit, or you make it too big so that they don't fit together. But here it is drawn out. I'm gonna go cut it. So now that I have it all cut out, they fit together pretty nicely. I'm gonna drill a hole through the middle later so that they can have a place to connect. Here it is all sanded down so that they can move. Now I'm gonna go work on drilling a hole. Oh, but first I'm gonna actually sand these down in the center because they don't fit together as well as I'd like them to. See, they have kind of a space. So I'm gonna go sand it down so it fits nicely. I'm gonna mark a hole with a nail first. Mark where I'm gonna put the hole. So now that I have it all sanded down, I'm gonna go drill a hole through it. I'm marking the hole with a marker so that it's easier to see. I'm going to start by putting it on the edge of this board so that it's not slanted at a weird angle like that. I'm going to use a 3/16 inch drill bit. I'm going to mark first the hole, and then I'm going to make sure it's straight up and down. I'm doing that off camera. I don't know why, but it would just made it easier for me to hold. Now I'm just sanding down where the drill bit went through. It's kind of rough. I'm putting them together now. Right now I'm trying to drill through them, but it wasn't working. So I got out some duct tape, and I just got a piece that was long enough to wrap around it a couple times. I'm just gonna lay the tape out on this board and then wrap it. I couldn't clamp it because there wasn't really a place to clamp, and if I clamped it up on the sides, there was a chance of it rotating or breaking, and then it wouldn't be aligned. So I'm going to drill the rest of the holes. I used the first hole that I drilled as a guide, and then once I broke through the first part of the hinge that I didn't drill, then it hit the second hole that I drilled, and then most of it was already done, if that makes sense. So I'm taking off the tape now, using a file to file it down. It was a little roughed up. It'll fit together nicer now. So I found a 3/16 inch bolt that was about 2 inches long and a nut that would fit it nicely, and I used that as the piece that would be used as like an axle. I'm cutting this PVC down to about half the width of my phone, and I'm gonna cut it out so it looks a little bit nicer rather than just flat. There it is, all finished cutting out. It should fit. This hinge should fit nicely on it. Now I'm marking the middle of the hinge, and I'm gonna glue this down later. I cut a piece of PVC down the middle and heated it up and shaped it into this, which will be the top parts. Now I'm just gluing everything together. I'm filing down a rough edge so that so the glue can hold it easier. I ended up having to put the glue on the side as well as the bottom. I cut out also a small piece of PVC which will fit the top of the hinge so that it will act as like a lock so that it wouldn't hyperextend. This is the finished piece. The only thing that you didn't see in the video was on the side you can see a spring, but it ended up looking pretty nice. I drilled a hole and then put some nails through, some just like picture nails, and then I put a spring so that it would like kind of snap back and lock. You can put some pieces of PVC on the sides to lock your phone in place so that it doesn't slide out the sides, but I think it turned out alright, and I really like the finished product. If you guys like this video and you want more how-to videos, then leave a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any ideas for a build challenge or another video, please leave a comment.